looks like it's time for another exciting lesson with Mr. Haupt. Take it away, Mr. Haupt. We're looking forward to it.
Okay. Off to the painting. What we have here, what we've talked about lately is doing wet on wet. And so what I've chosen as my subject is a simple form of a butterfly.
So this is a continuation of the watercolors, Mr. Haupt?
We are still watercolor painting.
Okay, so we got a nice pretty butterfly here. Okay.
Okay, so here's the pencil work. And I think that the most difficult part of this isn't the painting portion, but is trying to draw the butterfly, getting the symmetrical wings one side and the other side. So if we can manage to get the drawing on there, the painting portion should be a breeze. Okay, so we've got 4 panels, and what we can do is treat each panel of the wing as a separate little painting. So you don't have to panic about trying to paint it all at one time or one sitting. So I can paint the upper portion here, and I'm going to work into these areas water first, just clear water, and then I'll mix my paints up, and then we'll just go, well, one wing at a time. Okay, so here we are going to begin by painting with just the clear water in one of the wing panels at a time. Just water. And then after that, as you'll see, we'll add the color pigments and work the paint into this wet on wet technique. Okay, so what I'm doing at this point is I am adding water to this shape. So it's just pure water. And now you can see with this wet wing panel, I'm just dabbing in my color scheme. And I'm using a kind of a turquoise blue here. And I'm just kind of dabbing it into place, allowing the paint to spread. And I'm just kind of moving it gently around, not too much. I'm going to go a little darker toward the body of the butterfly. And carefully with the brush, just move it along the water pool that you've created there. Okay, so I'm adding a little green here, a little turquoise, a little mix along the way, and we'll repeat this for the next wing, which we'll try to match the colors with. Alright, so I've finished the 2 upper wing panels, and now I'm working on the lower wing panels. Same technique, wet on wet, so I added water to this little section first, brought in my blues, touching up with a little green, trying to keep the center of the wing kind of a bit lighter, as if light were passing through the wing of these delicate insects. And what I'm going to do also is, like I did on top, is try to match the pattern on the lower wing with the other lower wing. What I'm going to do now is add a little bit of darker blue along the inner edge to kind of create a shadow, perhaps, I think these wings do get a little bit darker as they get toward the body of the animal. Just a little dot here and there looks good. Okay, a little more in here, and that's about it. I'll repeat with the last wing, which you'll see here in just a second. Not overworking it, just okay, so we're going to complete the final wing panel here, approaching it the same way I did the other lower wing panel. Water is added first. It's going to spread the water evenly, not puddling up, but just an even spread, working the primary color in of this butterfly, which is the blue. And then looking at the other wings when I'm doing this, just to try to match the pattern of the green, the little kind of trailing edge here of each of these. And then as a final touch, I will probably work on the body and perhaps some antenna and maybe a little background idea once this is done and dried. Okay, go. Looks pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied for the time being. Let's give this some time to dry and then work on my final concepts. Okay, so what I'm going to do is a final touch to the wings. Is I'm mixing up a darker, almost blackish kind of color, but not black. And I'm working this really close to where the wings join the body of the butterfly. Kind of creates a little shadowed area that I've noticed in some pictures of butterflies. And I think if I do it on each wing and then maybe up some of these edges, it gives a little bit of more of a contrast. Like these lower panels might be shadowed somewhat from the upper panels. And then just trying to spread a little bit of this darker into some other areas along the wing edges, which you can see in actual butterflies. And that's about it. What some people do is they allow these little trailing edges to drip a little bit, but I'm not going to do that here. So I'm just going to kind of finalize this bit here, and then I'll just add the body, which I can do later on when this is dry, and maybe play with the background. So there you go. Okay, so we're back, and what I'd like to show you with this butterfly painting is the finished product. So what I've done is allowed it to dry for 10 or so minutes. Actually, it was more like a half an hour later I got to it. And I just prepared a little bit of paint, and I added a little bit of the darker body and some of the antenna. And so what we have here is this. Okay. And so the colors dried nicely. We have these little white areas here that look, like I said, as light is passing through the thin wing membranes. And I thought about maybe doing a little work behind it, I could splatter some paint, some pretty pink or something, which I might end up doing. But for now, I'll just call this good and maybe play with that idea later on. Okay, so hope you have fun.